Step 7, work with your contracts department to discuss whether winning defense work through the contract protest method is a viable option for your company to pursue. Now, again, if you've been a past client of ours, we actually give you a standard operating procedure on exactly how to do this, but I'll give you a brief here, which is, according to the law, you're supposed to be compliant with NIST SP 800-171 at the time of contract award. Now, the contracting officer can make an exception, but they're supposed to do that before the award is given. What you can do is you can potentially launch a protest if you believe that the person that won the contract did not have NIST SP 800-171 in place at the time of contract award, stating that you do have it in place and that you are a better candidate. Now, I don't get deep into the conversation of contract protest. Some companies don't like it. There are some companies that have never won a contract outright and they only went through the protest concept. I just put it out there for consideration. And if you have further questions on that, again, that's a whole nother deep dive topic, but contract protest is very real. And ultimately it is very, very successful when it works. Step 8, leverage compliance as an ongoing discussion starter for government matchmaking meetings and trade shows. Okay. There are, and if you weren't aware of this, there are numerous trade shows around the country, around the world for that matter, who are recruiting people to sell to the government and particularly for the DoD. Every major branch of the military has these matchmaking meetings. Every major coast has their own show. There are just tons of these things. They go on year round, and I cannot recommend them enough. It is so cool. You go to the meeting, and they will literally allow you to meet with numerous people from the procurement offices of the government, actual people who are involved in making the purchasing decisions, and you get to work with them. And it's just, you know, to some degree, it's almost kind of like a dream come true. I mean, where else could you possibly come up with the concept that a buyer is going to hold a whole trade show and openly meet with you just to see what you can sell to them? I mean, it's so cool. It's only in government. And I would just really highly recommend putting out a little bit of resources to send some people to those trade shows and just learn about what it's about. Again, we recently attended the Navy Gold Coast show. I think we met with 16 to 20 different people, and these are big, heavy-hitting people with $100 million plus budgets, hundreds of millions of dollars but in budgets to spend. And if you're going to play in this world, matchmaking needs to be a regular activity in order to, one, really grow your network and who you know, and two, to really dive in and find out what the opportunities of the moment are, because they're always changing and always new ones. Now, step 9, explore military industry trade shows, even as an attendee. It's ultra cost effective and many come with matchmaking sessions. So again, separate from just the matchmaking shows, you also want to explore some of the general military industry trade shows. Okay, there's tons of them out there. There's actually, in fact, an association of military procurement and things like that. There's a bunch of different associations out there. You want to get involved, and frankly, you know, I tell you what. You can knock it all you want. I know we live in a post-pandemic era, but sometimes you just got to get on a plane and go shake hands with people to meet them and understand who they are and what their needs are. You'd be very, very surprised, because even if they can't directly buy from you, they may very well know who could. So huge, huge fan of that. Step 10, leverage LinkedIn to message relevant decision makers at the big defense firms such as Lockheed, Raytheon, BAE, General Dynamics, Boeing, and more. Guys, in the age of the internet, people are so accessible, it's almost painful to think about the idea of not being able to get business. So again, LinkedIn is a real powerhouse when it comes to being able to know who people are, who is employed where, things like that. So a lead in utilizing the idea that you are already compliant with DFARS, NIST SP 800-171 and ready for CMMC. That is a really great lead in, okay? So if you're on LinkedIn, okay, and you want to send some in-mail, or just a message to somebody, that's a really great one to start with. Not very many people start with it. It's a really innovative way to do things. And again, it's going to immediately send the right message that you speak their language in defense. Okay, so again, lead in with the idea that you're already compliant with DFARS, NIST SP 800-171. I call that being shovel ready, right? You're shovel ready and ready for work projects. So very, very powerful. And something that everyone in procurement is watching out for right now, because it's so hard to find contractors, particularly small ones, that are compliant with this. Obtaining a compliant supply chain is one of their biggest challenges. It really, really is. And so you're helping them out as well. Step number 11, launch a weekly email newsletter to your prospects. I know it's probably something that you've had on the back of your mind for years, but believe it or not, if you're not communicating at least on a periodic basis with your prospects, you are losing out big time on deals that only come with a long-term sustained follow-up campaign. Okay. Again, with it taking 7 to 12 touches just to get in contact with somebody, you've got to understand that it just takes time and it takes repetitive contact. It takes almost being annoying. I don't care what anybody says. You just have to constantly communicate. The cheapest and easiest possible way to do this is with a weekly email newsletter. Okay. Not all prospects close quickly. In fact, some can take years. And the average takes just 7 to 12 touches to engage, while the average salesperson stops after just 1 to 3 attempts at contact. Okay. Your average sales guy is going to stop at 1 to 3 attempts at contact. So necessary for you to have regular marketing communication, CRM systems, all those kinds of things. If you're really stuck on that, give us a call. We can maybe at least guide you in the right direction on that and see what kind of help you need. Step 12, make a habit of automating marketing using social media, email, relevant calls, voicemails, SMS, and more, because not every prospect responds to every communication channel. And I have to tell you, I am one of those people. I do not respond to voicemails, okay? I don't really do a lot of work on the phone. I communicate via email. I communicate via SMS, Facebook Messenger even. Obviously not for defense work specifically, but you've got to try different channels of communicating with people. Otherwise, you're absolutely missing a percentage of your leads. So make a habit of automating marketing using social media. Here's another thing. You can create one piece of content. I'll give you a great example. A video like this, you can cut it up into 20 different pieces of content, and then you can use programs like Content Studio to be able to launch it out in different ways to different social media platforms, creating a very robust marketing footprint. Again, yes, it does take a little bit of work, but you can just leverage so much these days with technology. So I just kind of want to, put that out there and just really encourage you to use as much automation as you can to make sure that the consistency of your marketing is really happening. Because when it's not, that's when you get inconsistent revenue. Step 13, leverage AI for content generation to aid in a constant stream of information your prospects value. Again, I think one of the biggest changes in 2023 will go down that the copywriters really have got a tough time in their job because AI has kind of replaced them. Again, you can go to ChatGPT, you can type in any subject, and you can literally just have it write you an essay. Where does that come in handy? Well, it certainly comes in handy when it comes to generating a lot of really useful content. So I just want to put that out there because it's so, so powerful to be able to leverage AI to generate massive quantities of high quality content. So really cool.